following is a presentation of MOTT Uno, Division 1.
Welcome to Arcade April Start 64 here on the MOTT Uno channel. We are bringing you some more coverage of the last few matches of the Start 64 for the second tournament of the Division 1 season for MOTT Uno, and we got quite the matchup for you here. It's going to be two players who have been in this league since the very beginning. Number 3 seed Bryan taking on number 14 seed Jesse Turner. Both players were in the original 20-player tournament back in 2023 and have since played in multiple tournaments across the seasons. And now they're going to go head-to-head here in this one. In terms of their history on the table, I need to double-check that, which I will actually do that real quick just so I can confirm if this is a first. I don't think this is the first time they've played each other. At least I think maybe it actually is. Okay, no, I think this is actually the first time they're playing each other based off what I'm seeing here. So yeah, actually a first time matchup, a matchup that in theory is 4 seasons in the making here, but one that's going to be important for both. Jesse Turner currently on a bit of a losing streak here, looking to break that one in this tournament, whether it be this match or one of his remaining 2 matches at minimum. But for Bryan, coming off probably one of his best starts of the season, and looking to capitalize off that with another good start here and get up to 3 wins for 2026. Bryan looking to continue his good momentum heading into this one, but we'll go take a look at the bracket here. This will be the last match of this section for the Start 64. See there are a lot of action that's taken place so far. I mean, looking at the top here, I mean, the top seed for this section, Joao, 2 seed of the token region overall, lost in a stunner to newcomer Bob Ross, one of the 2 mid-season promotions here. Bob Ross making a very impressive statement in his debut and moves on to the Turbo 32, where he will face Sanford, who took down Myhale 4-1. Myhale and Joao playing each other in the revival rounds here. We'll see the result of that one soon enough. But winner of this matchup here coming up next, we'll play William Brock. Loser will play Toaster Guy. Brock getting a big win earlier in the window here. So the opponent for both in the next round has been set. It's just going to be who plays who. But for both, definitely looking to get the win to try and keep themselves on the winning path to try and win this tournament. Because remember, if you win your sectional, you still keep going. If you lose this one, you still are playing at least 2 more matches in the tournament, but won't be eligible for the tournament win. That's kind of with this sectional format, everyone playing 3 matches at least, and then the sectional winners going head to head for the tournament win. So both looking to try and get that win in general. But before we bring it to the table here, going to take a quick preview of the matchup. Novice to veteran, in terms of the games record, only based off tournament 1 so far, 13-9 for Bryan, 3-4 for JT, when what was a very close matchup in that Fairy Tale February opening round. last season. Both did not do too well in this tournament, though. 57th for Bryan, 49th for JT. So someone will at least make it to the round of 32 this time. Then for career accolades, nothing for Bryan, and then JT that lone silver from Super League 2024. But it has unfortunately been a bit of a nightmare since Super League 2024, as that semifinal was his last win in the league to this date, and it's been a winless drought he has been trying to break ever since. So we'll see if we could do it tonight, but if not, this tournament is definitely a good opportunity to do so. We'll have 3 shots at it here, with this one being the first. So we'll see what happens, but JT definitely looking to break one of the longer winless streaks we've seen in this league to this point. Gonna bring it over to the table now. I'm solo commentating for the moment here. I'm gonna quickly drop the question for Bryan, and then we'll see what he has to say, and then I'll just go to JT here while we have him. Turner, I mean, again, I obviously a lot of people have talked about it with the winless streak definitely has been a point of conversation. However, you've definitely shown flashes that it's coming sooner rather than later here, and you go up against Bryan, who is like just like you has kind of been one of the OG players of this league here. Thoughts on Bryan going into this one here, and overall, just kind of how are you feeling heading into this matchup as well as this form, as you definitely look to try and break that winless drought or that winless streak.
Thanks, man. Yep, I'm excited to get back to the grind here, as the we had that little delay between the end of March and now, and but I'm thankful that those issues were corrected. But I know that I'm surprised that it's taken me this long to finally get to play Bryan, even though we both been in the league around the same amount of time. So that'll be pretty sweet. Getting to take on a new opponent and to kind of learn as I go a little bit. But thankfully, in the March match, I was able to play Acosta and learn a lot from there, and that was a super close dead heat. Wish it would have gone my way, but I'll look to maybe correct that and to see if I can get better luck this time.
Okay. Okay. I fixed it. The problem was I had my mic muted and I had my phone like blocking the light, so I didn't see that. All right, there we go. Okay, so Bryan gonna go for the OG7 for game 1 here. And now we start things off with the red 3 as the series is now underway. We'll see how this one goes. Both players kind of pace-wise are a little bit all over the place. Kind of just depends on the day, where they're at. So not necessarily a locked in or a predictable pace on paper. It could go all over the place, but gonna start with running the reds here. Bryan trying to play the I don't even know what color that starts with the E. But emerald, I guess, the emerald 4. But switches it to a red, but now Turner's going to switch to a yellow, and that forces Bryan to draw. So Turner with potentially a bit of an opening here. And going to take advantage of it for now. Going to run the yellow. Looking to get up a bit of a plan A win to start this series off. And just going to keep running the numbers here. It's lining up well so far. Down to 3. Bryan did top deck that yellow 3 though. It's just really going to be a switch for him that would allow him to play, and he's not going to get it. Going to draw again. That works out for Turner. He gets to switch the green. This starting hand may have lined up well for Turner here, and these draws may be coming in at the right time for Bryan or for Turner, but Bryan is a little dumbfounded at the moment. Throws in the not the speed gift, the flight gift, or the gift. But Turner is now on Uno. He has been running numbers here. This is a numbers plan A that's just kind of been lining up here. If he has the green, he will have it, and no, he will fall 1 card short. Look to maybe have it there, but just 1 card short on that one. Bryan going to run out on green as well, but now looking to be in draw city here. Turner looking for a big top deck to maybe help him out of this situation. And for now, it does not look like he's going to get it. But yeah, both going to just kind of keep drawing on the green for now. Another draw there. And yeah, for both, it's looking like this green is going to be a bit of a dead color here once we get the switch. Both not really able to find much here for the moment. Bryan will get a top deck green 1 though, both probably looking for the switch. And Turner may have something here. He will. Got the switch to red here, so looking to run a 3-color game now. Bryan going to roll with the red as well, so I don't think there's been a single ammo card played so far. This has been a purely numbers game. Yeah, only numbers have been played so far, which is a bit interesting. Ammo seems to be a little bit missing. And just as I say that, we get our first ammo card. It's going to be just a reverse, and it's going to be simply a double. But yeah, I mean, so far in the opener of this one, this has been a very minimal ammo game. Just kind of been running the numbers. And I mean, based off how the beginning of this one started, I think there's a good chance both players just had full numbers hand to start, which you know, that's kind of an interesting way to make it even, and it kind of makes it a little bit more where you gotta have those lineups. But Turner gonna draw on blue here. Bryan played that blue 2 before, now goes up with the blue 4. Both are tied now. Turner gonna draw again. Really at this point it's gonna be how well can these players line up their cards. And you see a good lineup there on that one with the 4s, gets to switch the red. Turner is still drawing. Can Bryan keep it going, or does he switch himself into a draw? Bryan typing something. Could he have it? Only seen 1 ammo card so far here. We're going to see our second, or third even, with the +4 and the yellow +2. And Bryan will take game 1 with the +4 and the yellow +2. And along with the blue reverse, those were the only ammo cards in that game. So minimal ammo on that one, but ultimately the ammo kind of lines it up on the end to seal that one out. That's the only thing I really got for Bryan on that one. I guess for JT, when you're kind of running it down at the start on the plan A, what was the last card you were looking for there? I'm assuming it was like a number on a different color, but that looked promising at the start.
No, I was hoping he would just switch it to any yellow. But of course he had his own plan and he switched it to yellow right at the end. But the entire time I was drawing, I was getting yellows like over and over again. So that's what I was relying on.
Fair enough. Third draw, Bryan got the +4 on, which yeah, I think that kind of makes sense, kind of during that draw city. But yeah, not really a whole lot to say on that one. It was mostly numbers, but when the ammo came in, that was kind of a big difference on getting that finish there. So Bryan gonna go up 1-0 for now, but still early. He's got the game 2 call, just can't pick the OG7 now. So we'll see what he decides to go for in game 2. Sign, you're good to ask Bryan for the game 2 call whenever. Yeah, I think for Bryan also, he's kind of like throwing these gifts out during the game. That's kind of been a bit of his trademark as of late. So we'll see if that's something that could play a little influence on where his head's at on either in the game or looking at this overall series picture. But Blue 2 will open up game 2 here. Bryan looking to get off to a good start in this game here. Turner looking to tie things up. And going to be the blue 5 for the moment. And just going to roll with blue for the moment as well. I mean, kind of a similar start to game 1 where you just kind of roll on that starting color here. I guess the real question is going to be who goes for that first switch. Turner with a double play there to take the lead. Now what does Bryan do here? Turner with the lead, Bryan taking a second. Gonna just keep going with blue. Does Turner have a switch? He does have a switch. Thinking that's what he was looking for on that one, but gonna go with the yellow one for now. Does Bryan roll with yellow or does he want a different color? Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of what I was talking about before, where the pace kind of goes a little bit all over the place. It just kind of depends on the situation. Because, I mean, Bryan sometimes can play fast, but then here, now he's just kind of taking his time here, slowing it down a little bit. And, alright, he is going to switch it over to the red, crossover into red. Turner just going to roll with the red for now. He is down to 3. Bryan is down to 4. And Bryan's going to have a +2 there to throw Turner back a little bit, but Bryan going to retake the lead on that one. JT just plays the numbers. Red 5. But Bryan is now out on red, so Turner looking to reel it back in. Alright, Turner out on red also, so potentially another draw city incoming. And Bryan's going to ditto the card that both drew on, so this is not really going to do a whole lot unless Turner top decked a card that helps with the 5. Or like a wilder +4. Speaking of it, he will top deck a wild and goes in the green. Does this help Bryan though? Because he is low on cards. Bryan taking a second to type. Gets the Uno on the green 1. What does JT end up deciding to do? Tried the power play, but Bryan's at Uno. Could Turner be close? Got the green reverse and the green 2. Gonna stick with the green. Oof, and unfortunately the green is gonna be what Bryan needed on that one there, and he will make it 2-0 here. Unfortunate for JT. I like the commitment on going for that risk there. Unfortunately, this time did not pan out the way he was hoping for it to pan out. But JT, were you close to a finisher? Because you did power play on that one.
Yeah, I had a wild +4 in the bag, but that rule just slipped my mind.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I would guess based off how that one played out, you were banking on no green on that one and then getting the win there. But yeah, unfortunately, the gamble on that one did not pay off there. But yeah, it's been a strange series so far. There has not really been a whole lot of ammo. It's just kind of been sporadic. We haven't had any of those like big runs so far. Both games in the 4-minute range, so it's just kind of been playing out a bit of a more calm approach to it. But yeah, well, we'll go to game 3 here. JT looking to get on the board. He has the call, full range available. We'll see what he decides to go with here. Gonna keep bringing it up a little bit. Gonna go to that true mid tier with the 10 cards. Hoping to see if he can make this a home series. And this one's gonna start with the yellow 6, as we just had Nam join in. Quick start for JT here as a double play on that one. Looking to create some early separation. What is Bryan's opening move here? It is a yellow 1, but he added an extra space. There it is. And that allows JT the switch. I'm wondering if that's another case where JT may have only had the double there and gets the switch he needed on that one. So, assuming this is a bit more of a smooth smooth passage here, that could work out well for JT. We did see last time though Bryan had the crossover, so we'll see if Bryan does something similar here. He will not. He will roll with red, and JT will do that as well. Bryan taking a second to think about what he wants to do next. Going to be a double play, so that'll bring things back to even, but JT is still going to have that position arrow lead. And JT going to take it right back here with a reverse, and has a double of his own. He goes down to 4 now. Does Bryan have a play? He has a switch of his own, goes into yellow. And JT has the crossover in the blue. I think the switch was what he was looking for there. JT looking to be in a potentially decent spot at the moment. Don't necessarily know what the last 3 cards entail on his end, but kind of looking like a similar run that we saw in game 1 early on. Bryan's just going to play the blue. It's been a very numbers-dominated game so far. Not a whole lot of ammo. And if we do see ammo, it's more of just like a 1-2. A wild from Bryan goes into yellow. Not what JT wanted there. Gonna have to draw. Is that 2 cards on that one? And Bryan looking to swing by and grab the advantage here. Yellow reverse. Can Bryan find the finish here, or will this just be Uno? Taking a second. If he has the finish here, this will be the shortest game thus far, and I'll actually continue a trend of the games getting slightly shorter as it goes along, but he is taking a minute to type this one out. Maybe just double checking he has it right. Yeah, man, he has a +4 and another wild on that one. So, rough one there for JT. Not much you could do on that one. Just seem to have the options covered. I mean, you end off that with a 2 wilds and a +4 there, so that kind of leaves JT in a bit of a tough spot. JT, I guess I have to ask, kind of your finish. Was it just kind of numbers running on blue to the end, or did you have something different?
Yeah, I wasn't really left with many options, but I guess kudos to Bryan for being Plan A. All three of these games, couldn't really like draw any cards to like give me any good connectors. Just what I was dealt with, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, in a series like this, where it just kind of seems like the ammo is a little bit minimal here, when you kind of get those big swings like that, that's definitely going to make a difference. And yeah, just checking that one ends up being a Plan A from Bryan. So a decently solid hand. It didn't really have to use any of those wilds before that ending there. So the game flow actually worked out well on his end there. But 3-0 here. JT looking to make the reverse sweep here, which we have seen a couple times before. Going to go with 11 this time here, looking to get on the board in this one. Yeah, based off the timing, also, I would say Cyan, once gets this one started, he's good to go. So he has a match at 9 p.m. Gonna get this one going here. Red 5. Haven't seen too much ammo so far, but when it pops up, it definitely is playing the factor there. And speaking of which, another aggressive out of the gate start for JT. This time with a +2, so gonna throw Bryan back to 13. All right, so JT with a double play there, and I think it's kind of where I was thinking before with the other two from earlier games where he has that double, then has no more there. So he draws on red. That allows Bryan to switch the green though, so that should free Turner up again. Turner's still with the lead despite that draw due to the +2, so still in a decent spot. However, when you're back against the wall, opponent on match point never can be too comfortable. We'll see what Bryan does on this screen here. Again, just kind of slowing things down a little bit here for game one. I think kind of went moderate pace this one, and ever since then, just kind of slowly easing into it, just kind of methodically taking his time. JT kind of going moderate pace here for the moment, but definitely trying to push the pace up a little bit. Bryan just kind of easing into it, and a light switch from Bryan here goes into blue now. So Bryan's switching out of that green he's switched into. Turner gonna roll with the blue. Do we see another switch from Bryan, or does he roll with blue? Alright, blue 4. Bryan just gonna roll with the blue here, and we got a ditto play on that one. Both with the blue 4. JT down to 7, Bryan down to 9. We've seen how these games have played out so far. Just kind of run down early on, and then you get low, and it kind of just goes all over the place. Either someone just kind of gets the plan A win, or both run out, and then it's a bit of a draw afterwards. Switches into yellow here. That'll be Pandora's, and JT gonna roll with the yellow for now. Again, looking to get on the board here. It's been mostly numbers on JT's end so far, with a few ammo cards sprinkled in here and there, but looking to see if he can have that turnaround in game 4 and maybe get something going. Alright, Bryan with the yellow 3. Turner is out on yellow, so not what he was hoping for on that one there. Alright, Bryan typing, got the yellow 9. He will take the lead with that one. JT looking for either a top deck or a switch. Will get the switch, goes in the green. For JT right now, trying to see if he can find that draw, and he will find that draw, but Bryan going to play a green reverse prior to that. So JT looking to work with it, but no, he has no green as well, and it's looking to be a draw city for both here. It seems like JT might be stuck on 2 color potentially. Gets the top deck green 8 though. Maybe looking to not have a draw city here. Bryan taking a bit. May have gotten something that could help him out. Yeah, I mean, again, the pace of this one has kind of been a bit slow. This is going to end up being the longest game so far. Not necessarily by cards played, but just kind of Bryan kind of taking his time here. JT trying to push the pace up, but Bryan going to try to dictate the length on this one. And Bryan going to draw, so took a while and then ultimately draws there. And JT will get his switch though, gets into blue. This is what he needed. He's kind of on 2 color right now, so getting one of these colors he needs is going to be helpful for him. Main question is, can he find that switch though, unless he just has all blue, which in that case he'll want to stay on this blue. Would not necessarily be something we could rule out because he did have a lot of yellow in game 1, which is what he needed in that one. So it could be a bit of a blue fever here from JT, or he may need that switch to the red at some point. Bryan taking a second. On the blue 0 at the moment. Could he be looking for a run here, or is this just going to be a single play? It's going to be a +6 going into yellow, so Turner's lead goes away once again here, and Bryan now down to 4. JT back up to 10. Got 6 more cards in the hand there. We'll see what he can do with them. He's going to switch it right back into blue. Does not want that yellow for Bryan here. We'll see if Bryan has a response on that one. Getting close to 8 minutes on the clock for game 4. And Bryan with no response, he will have to draw. Good composed play by JT to keep himself afloat here as he goes back into that blue. And will now play his cards. Bryan continues to draw here, and Turner is now out, so looking for that draw city. Bryan top decks a blue 3. And JT is going to switch it into the green. Not looking to go to yellow for the moment here, but will get out of that blue. Bryan able to play the green. He still has the lead here. JT looking to try and overtake. We'll just play the numbers for now. I mean, really the question at this point is kind of what is in both players' hands here. Are they working with numbers, or is there something lingering that could be a big help? Bryan switches it the red. That was the 2 color we were thinking Turner may have had before. Does he have something on this red here? He is typing, so he might got something. He has a +4. It goes into yellow. Taking a swing on that one. May have not felt super safe with the way this game was positioned here, and trying to throw Bryan back some more. Bryan was down to 3 cards there, so maybe was not feeling 100% confident on how that one was going there. So looks to try to take advantage here. Bryan again with the flight gift. Yellow 2. JT gonna go with the yellow 3. Bryan is out on yellow here. JT looking to run down the yellow now. He's down to 2. Bryan up to 7. Bryan drawing on this yellow here. And a 3-card run, and it goes into red now. Bryan at 4, JT at 2. Can Turner find it? Turner gets the Uno. Similar spot in game as it was in game 2, except the roles have been reversed a little bit. Does JT have that second red, or is he looking for a panic switch? Bryan's going to go for the switch the blue, and it was not going to matter there. Wild from JT, and he is on the board. So JT gets that one, and Bryan is disappointed with that loss there. He had a +4 that he did not play, so bit of a patient hold there from Bryan, and that's going to be one he is going to wish he had back. But Yeah, Brian, saying that one was a blunder there. But JT, you're on the board now. Got the win on that one. Thoughts from that game, and what do you felt were the plays that kind of helped you navigate to the end there?
Okay, well, thankfully I chose to be more useful with the +4 instead of waiting it out until, the last time. I think it was game 2. I could tell he was getting close, and he had like 3 cards left. I knew if I wouldn't have used it then and there, he may have had a plan. So I threw it there to kind of stop him of his plan. But thankfully, I did have a wild in the back pocket that I kept the entire time, and then um, got it down to, and was finally able to seal it there.
I'm gonna quickly take a question for Brian, then we'll go to game 5. And then once he responds, I'll get the game 5 call. I will take over reffing duties now. But yeah, we'll see what Brian has to say on this one. But yeah, I mean, he mentioned he had the +4 there, but held on to it. So JT able to escape there with the wild. Yeah, sometimes it's just kind of like that's kind of the risk management you have there, especially when you kind of have like something like a +4 and you hold on to it there. It's do you have the confidence that you can make the opponent draw and then you keep that powerful card there, or do you go for the more safer option and just ensure that in 99 of 100 scenarios you're keeping the game alive. But that Brian goes with a bit more of a risky option there with the switch, and in that one it was not the right decision there. So we'll see if that comes back to bite him here. He still has a 3-1 lead, but he has opened the doors for Turner to get a bit of a momentum swing here, especially after such a long game there. So Turner could find a way to turn this around here now that he's broken through with a win on the board. Well, there's the power play still also. I feel like for Brian, was trying to see if we could line up that power play at some point, but JT still has his as well. I think JT's usage of it is going to be a bit more interesting though, because it could be a little bit spread all over the place. Brian, I feel like his is more straightforward, but JT's could come from a plethora of ways. Debating on using my power play when I played the red 2 before he played his +4 definitely put me in a good spot there. So I actually would have looked to get the Uno potentially on that one. But yeah, that's gonna be how that one goes here. But Brian gets the home field back, got the game 5 call. We'll see what he ends up going for here. Gonna go with 9, so looking for the missing start on that one there. The go trying to bring her power the JT for the reverse sweep, but gonna get game 5 started here. And gonna be a blue skip to open this one up here. So we'll see how this one pans out. Okay. It's not been that long. It's 2024. Yeah, there you go. Monaco has not gotten a win since 2023, but or even just in general, but yeah, time blindness, it's all good. All right, so Brian taking a bit to start this one up here. 9 card start, just kind of dissecting the hand here for the moment. It kind of gives our time for JT to do that as well. And Brian gonna open up here, see what he goes. Gonna just roll with blue here and go with the blue 8. And JT just gonna keep going blue as well. Programming update, Revive round 2 between Cody Smart and James Ellis is going to start up soon. That one scheduled for 9 p.m. start, so we'll see who gets the win on that one there. That's actually a rematch from the Promoters Cup preseason event where Cody Smart won 4-0 there, so Allison looking for a bit of redemption in that one. But back to this match here. Turner with the switch to red. He's had enough of blue for the moment. And Bryan just gonna go along with that and plays red as well. Both running numbers at the moment here. Looking for 4 plays straight of numbers, and Turner's going to break that up and take the lead with that double play. Will be a possession arrow. No, it's not a possession arrow lead. It's going to be a straight up lead. Bryan draws, but JT is going to draw as well, so both are out on red. Now both looking to the deck to find some cards to help them out. JT gets a wild and goes into the yellow here. Could things be turning around for JT here? Maybe getting some of the cards right now. And JT is going to use his power play here, and I think this will secure the game. Wants to make sure he has this one. +2 on +2. Is he looking for another one? No. Yellow reverse. Gets the Uno on the yellow 5 and just finishes it on yellow straight up. So JT with another win here. Gets 2 in a row. And that wild yellow is going to be a huge top deck there on that one. And JT gonna make it 3-2, gets another one back here. Now this comeback looking to be a little bit more obtainable here. Turner, I'm guessing you top deck the wild there, but just kind of thoughts on using the power play right then and there.
Oh yeah, thankfully I did. And I had that run with the yellows. I knew that I might not get to a game 6, so I know that at least if I did something about it, like the power play, at least I can get it to game 6 and get the opportunity to tie him up instead of him defeating me here in game 5.
All right. Don't have much for Bryan on that one. I do need to go to the bathroom real quick, but we'll get game 6 going here. JT, your call. What would you like? I gotta go 12 cards, so like in the upper part of the mid range here. And there won't be commentary for like a minute, but we'll get this one started. All right, we are back. Sorry for the pause on that, but started off with green double play from JT, and now JT going into red here, and it's going for a bit of a light switch on that one with the yellow 6. Again, JT looking to have a bit of momentum here at the moment. Bryan going to cross over back into the red though. Does JT still have any leftover red, or does he have another yellow 6, or even just another 6 in general? Bryan with the nuh-uh there. JT taking a second here to regroup. Taking a bit to type this one out here. Maybe thinking through what he wants, or maybe a big run coming. We'll see. We really have not seen a lot of big runs so far in this series here. JT is going to draw, actually. So, no red left. And now Bryan has the door open to get something going here. Could that be some slight frustration from JT? We'll see. Did take a while on that one, or maybe just kind of has something but doesn't want to play it yet. Bryan with the red 7. JT likely looking for a switch. Won't get it there. Gonna draw once again. And Bryan just gonna kind of keep using this red here. It's kind of like a pick. JT is gonna get the switch on the third try here, and it goes in the blue. So now after that, Bryan regains the lead here. 7-9 at the moment. We'll see what Bryan does here as the color ends up switching. And Bryan's just going to play a blue one, so it goes one down. And a +2 from Turner here to retake the lead. Another double from Turner. Biggest run that Turner has had so far in this series was the ending of Game 5, which, I mean, had the power play also to make it 4 cards, but that one was really a 3-bagger there, so there's not really been any big runs. I think, in general, I don't think there's been any big runs on either side. I'm pretty sure 3 is the longest chain we've seen to this point. Or if you want to count the power play usage to connect the numbers, but yeah, not too many big chains here. Going to be a draw from JT on blue. The slight advantage he had going to come to a halt for the moment. And he very well might be stuck on 2 color. And that is not the color that JT wanted to see, I don't think. Going back into red. Could have something here from a top deck, but we saw him drawing on this earlier, so I don't think this was his first choice, to say the least. And he's gonna get a wild and goes into green, so gets out of the color vortex he was in. Now gonna be in a bit more comfortable territory here. I would think JT's liking this green and yellow, so we'll be trying to run it here. We'll see what Bryan has on the green, though. Bryan's still with the lead. Bryan's just going to roll with the green for the moment. And JT has another +2, and it's going to be another double play on that one. He will regain the lead here. I'm pretty sure he actually just flipped the scoreboard on that one. And Bryan has no green. Does this open the door for JT to get something going? Taking a second to type. And he has a +4 into yellow. Yellow reverse. Can he find the run? It's going to be a 3-card run. Gets down to 2. Bryan is up to 12 cards here. And again, this green and yellow, I think, is the colors JT is needing. And it's panning out pretty well here. Goes for that +4 there to ensure that switch to yellow. Bryan going to have to think of what he wants to do here. Does not want to go into that Game 7 situation with JT on the mount of a comeback. But we'll have to see how this one pans out. Bryan again taking a minute to digest that, look through the hand, see what he's got to do. We saw in game 4 he was a bit too patient with a +4 there and ended up costing him. I'm wondering if that's going to be something that's running through his mind here at the moment, if he does end up having something similar. And gonna go for a skip chain into blue here, so gonna get out of that yellow and gonna work. No +4 from JT, and JT gonna have to draw on that blue. So Bryan with a little bit of breathing room at the moment, but still not a lot. JT is definitely in that top deck territory. I'm pretty sure we've only seen one +4 so far, so there's still plenty left, although really in general, I mean, kind of looking at the stats here, not too many +4s, only 4 overall in this series thus far through 6 games, so not too many +4s in the picture here. But yeah, the ammo is starting to pick up a little bit here, but nothing too crazy at the moment. Ironically, it's actually kind of evening out here. I don't see a single category that's like a crazy differential here. Bryan gonna go back into that green there, and no play on the green for JT. I'm thinking he's liking that yellow, so trying to find a way back into that color. What does Bryan do here? He's got the red. Bryan looking to make it 3 for 3 on colors that JT draws on. Does JT have a red in hand, though? He has a... No, he gets a wild. He gets another top deck wild, and he goes back into yellow. Again, it's looking like yellow is the color JT wants to ride with here. And that's going to throw... Again, it's going to again throw Bryan for a loop here. And now we'll have to see what he has to do. He's just going to have to roll with the yellow for the moment here. Yellow +2 from JT. Does he look for a 3-card finish? No, it's going to be a double play. Gets the Uno on the yellow 0. May have been the finish he was looking for beforehand, but we'll have to see what this final card ends up being, if it's yellow or he needs a different color. Bryan typing. What options does Bryan have here? We'll see. Going to be another switch into the blue, which feels like a pretty safe option since it worked last time for Bryan. And it's going to work once again here. JT going to have to draw. Still in top deck territory here, but Bryan is getting lower and lower here. Bryan going to draw as well. That was ultimately a more defensive move on that one. Looking to open up Draw City once again. JT looking for any top deck he can get. Not really. It's more of a wild. Blue. Okay, so JT top decks the blue 8. Bryan's gonna switch to red. No red from JT here. Does Bryan get something going on red though? Has a double play. JT still looking for that top deck to help. He gets the switch into yellow, which is what he needed. JT is liking this yellow here. What does Bryan do? Bryan is close, though. Not in the lead, but he is close. Down to 3. JT looking to get back to Uno again. And he will not. He is out on yellow. Can Bryan get close? He does get closer. Bryan running it down on yellow. What does JT do? He gets a switch into blue. We saw the draws on blue beforehand. Looking to have another stall out on this one. Gonna get the stall there. So draw from Bryan. Does JT? JT has a crossover into the green though and gets the Uno. Is green the color he needs? It's green or red, and based off how this game has played, JT could be in a good spot here. Can he find the finish? What does Bryan have? Bryan has just 3 cards left, and does he have enough to where he can work something out? I mean, +4 would have to come from a top deck here. Otherwise, it's just kind of up to what he had on those 2 cards. He gets a top deck +4! Oh my goodness. Crazy timing for Bryan to get that. And he's going to throw JT down. Now Bryan is at Uno. JT looked to be potentially very close to the win there. Has the green reverse, going to have to leave it open and draws. And Bryan finishes it, and that is it. The bot is taking a second, though. Yeah, didn't even use the power play on that one, so a little surprised by that one, but I feel like the top deck +4 was huge on that one to win it. And Bryan going to get the win. JT, unfortunately, not able to get the job done here, but good news for him is he's still got some more chances in this tournament here to try to break that winless drought. I'm going to start with you, JT, since you're in the VC. Was the green reverse the finish there on that one, or were you still hoping for another switch on that?
That green reverse was the original intended finish, but when I was rolling with those yellows, I probably should have been more patient. I probably should have played one of the yellow cards, the number cards I had first, then do the +2 into the 0 or the 1. But no, I saw that he had the yellow skip, and he already had the plan to multi-skip it. But he was just the best player this time.
All right. Well, again, that was a pretty well fought game 6 there. Was looking good to maybe make a comeback on that one, but Bryan able to find the right cards at the right time there. And if Bryan tells me that was not a top deck, he is lying or throwing. But yeah, we'll see what Bryan has to say, and then we'll wrap this one up here. 41 minutes, 53 seconds. Taking a look at the bracket here real quick while we get Bryan's thoughts. So Bryan moves on. We'll face Brock. JT will face Toaster Guy in the second round of the revive games. So we'll see how that one goes. JT still looking for that first win since 2024 Super League. We'll see if he can get it against Toaster Guy. But Bryan moving on, continuing his pretty solid start to the season, all things considered. And maybe looking to be a contender for this one. But yeah. JT's just going to leave the post-game quote on that one there. We'll see what Bryan has to say, but yeah. Lacking ammo these last 3 games. Power with Dr. Pepper just blessed me, and I thankfully got a +4. So, just going to keep it nice and simple there. The vibes end up winning out for Bryan on that one, and he moves on to the Turbo 32. So, that'll do it. Lower half of the token region and the down token the down token sectional is locked in now. We have our Turbo 32 when we have our Revive round 2 matches, so we'll get those ones rolling here in due time. But that'll do it for this stream. Thank you all so much for watching. On behalf of the MOTT Uno team, I want to thank you all for watching the stream. On behalf of our players and everyone who came out to watch, thank you all so much for watching. We got one more stream, I believe, in the round. That one is going to be with myself also tomorrow at 3 p.m. Should hopefully be a good one. Going to be Andy, Seth, Cole. And from what it's looking like at the moment, that will likely wrap up the round here, barring something unexpected at the 11th hour. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow for Andy, Seth, Cole to... again, likely wrap up the rounds, but until then, I'm G-Man. Peace out and take care. Take care, everyone. Have a good one.
This has been a presentation of MOTT Uno, Division 1.